I'm 76 years old, and I wake up most mornings to a house that doesn't make noise anymore. No footsteps, no doors, just the low hum of the refrigerator and my own breathing, reminding me I'm still here. People hear the headline version of my life and assume I must feel proud. I built a company that eventually sold for just over $200 million. That number follows me around like it explains something. It doesn't. I'm telling this now because there isn't much time left to pretend it balances out, and because my daughter isn't here to hear it. I live alone, not in the dramatic sense, just factually. My wife passed 6 years ago. Cancer. Quick at the end, long before that. My daughter and I stopped speaking years before she died. That's the part people never know where to put. They want a villain or a clean lesson. There isn't one. Most days now, I sit at the kitchen table longer than I need to. Coffee goes cold. I don't rush anymore. There's nothing to be late for. I look at the phone sometimes. It doesn't ring. When you're old, time changes shape. The future shrinks. The past gets louder. Moments you thought were small start knocking on you from the inside. I didn't set out to lose my daughter. I didn't wake up one day and decide work mattered more than her. That's not how it happens. I grew up in a house where working hard was the closest thing we had to love. My father didn't say much. He showed up. He paid bills. He believed that was enough. So when I was young, in my 20s, I did what seemed sensible. I chased stability. I chased respect. I chased the kind of success that made people stop questioning you. I started the company out of a rented office with stained carpet and folding chairs. There were 4 of us, long hours, cheap coffee, big talk about someday. Back then it felt noble. We were building something real. I was building a future. My daughter was born during those early years. I remember holding her in the hospital, thinking how small she was. I promised myself I'd give her everything I never had. At the time, that meant security, a good home, good schools, no fear about money. I didn't understand yet that children don't measure love that way. When she was little, she used to wait for me by the window. My wife told me that later. I wasn't there to see it. I'd come home late, loosen my tie, kiss her forehead while she slept. I told myself it counted. On weekends I was tired, not cruel, just tired. I'd say, next weekend, more times than I can remember. She grew older. School plays, soccer games, parent-teacher meetings. I missed more than I attended. Not because I didn't care, because I assumed there would be more chances. The company grew. Investors, travel, meetings that couldn't be moved. Every year felt critical, like if I slowed down, it would all fall apart. I remember once she asked me if I could help her with a school project. I told her I had a deadline. She nodded and went back to her room. I didn't think much of it. I wish I had. Teenage years came with slammed doors and silence. I thought it was normal. I thought we'd reconnect later, when things calmed down. They never really did. By the time the company was worth something serious, my daughter was already halfway gone from me. Not physically, emotionally. We spoke, but carefully, like people afraid of saying the wrong thing. I told myself she'd understand one day, that she'd see what I was building was for her. She didn't ask for it. The slow cost of it all didn't arrive with alarms. It crept in. Birthday cards signed in a hurry. Phone calls cut short. Conversations postponed until tomorrow. Tomorrow became years. The turning point didn't come when the company sold. That day was loud. Phones ringing. Champagne. Congratulations. I remember standing there smiling, thinking, now I can breathe. I went home that night and the house was quiet. My daughter didn't call. She'd moved across the country by then. We spoke maybe once every few months, polite, distant. I told myself to give her space. Then my wife got sick. That changes things, or at least it should. I slowed down. I sat in hospital rooms. I learned how to cook badly. My daughter came to visit once. We were 3 people in a room, unsure how to be together. After my wife died, something broke open between us. Not healing. Exposure. She told me she felt like she never had a father, that I'd been present but absent. I tried to explain. I talked about responsibility, sacrifice, providing. She listened quietly. Then she said, "I needed you, not your company." There's no argument for that, just a hollow feeling when you realize you're too late. We tried after that. Calls, visits, awkward dinners. But resentment is heavy, and time doesn't forgive the way people think it does. She stopped answering my calls gradually, not suddenly, just less. I told myself not to push, that she'd come around. Then she got sick. It wasn't supposed to be serious at first, an infection, a complication. I got the call in the middle of the night, drove faster than I should have. By the time I arrived, she was already unconscious. I sat there and held her hand. It felt so familiar and so wrong at the same time. I talked to her. I don't know if she heard me. I told her I was proud of her. I told her I loved her. I told her I was sorry. She died the next morning. There are things you can't fix after that, no matter how much money you have, no matter how many people know your name. I would give every dollar back for one ordinary afternoon with her. No speeches, no explanations, just sitting together, being there. People stopped calling after the funeral. That's how it goes. Now my days are small. Grocery store, walks, doctor appointments. Sometimes I hear her voice in my head, the way she sounded as a child. Sometimes I hear the distance instead. I don't tell this because I want forgiveness. There's no one to give it. I tell it because I believed the lie that life would slow down eventually, that there would be time later. Later is a dangerous word. If you're listening to this and you still have someone who waits for you by the window, even metaphorically, I hope you understand something I didn't. They won't always be there. Work fills the space you give it. So does absence. I'm not saying don't build things. I'm saying don't confuse building with being present. Success doesn't sit with you at night. It doesn't forgive you. It doesn't remember you the way a child does. I'm not lonely because I'm old. I'm lonely because of choices I made slowly, thinking they were harmless. If this meant something to you, you can sit with it. You don't have to do anything dramatic. Just don't assume time is patient. As for me, I'll finish my coffee. I'll sit at the table a while longer. There isn't much left to fix now. Only things to finally tell the truth about, and that will have to be enough.